All right, back here at home, a group of Democrats have an answer to the rising gas prices and soaring inflation that is just getting worse because of everything that we've just talked about in Ukraine. The answer? Just spend more money. The plan that's getting the most attention, the Gas Rebate Act, introduced by three House Democrats, it would give $100 a month in energy rebates for those within certain income limits, like $75,000 for single filers, $150,000 for joint filers, and then $100 a month for each dependent up to two. In California, Governor Gavin Newsom is proposing a $400 debit card for gas owners per car they own up to two, and to temporarily waive public transit fees and reduce fuel taxes. Gas in California right now averages just under $6 a gallon. The increase in gas prices this year will cost the average American household $2,000 more. That's on top of the $1,000 in extra food costs. With us now, Austan Goolsbee, University of Chicago economics professor, former chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors for President Obama, and nice enough to take a few minutes before his dinner to chat with us. Good to see you, sir. Thank you.
Good to see you again, Leland.
Boy, really, like another round of stimulus? How is that the answer when you've got runaway inflation?
I don't think it is the answer, and it strikes me that this is kind of they're doing it for political reason, and I think they'd be well served to kind of take a step back and ask, would they even get political credit if you pass that? So if you look in the year 2021, the tax cuts to the average family were well larger than the amount that prices went up due to inflation. It was almost $1,000 more. But it wasn't as though the federal government got lots of credit for having done that. People were still upset about the inflation. So I just don't see that this would have that great of a political impact.
Yeah, I've never seen a poll like the one we're about to put up. New NewsNation inflation poll, very or somewhat concerned, 95%. Now, you might ask, in what luxury home are the 5% who are not concerned living in? But we always talk about the 1%. Now we have the 5%. It feels like what you're saying is that the timeline on this getting under control just continues to spread out and be longer.
Yeah, definitely. Look, there's war in Ukraine, and as we've discussed before on this program, Leland, there are going to be some economic sacrifices. There are going to be some costs. You see it even more in Europe than in the U.S. Because they get their energy from Russia. But that whole thing has extended the timeline of what even the most optimistic people were hoping for getting the inflation rate down. And that's just a reality. Yeah. And the problem of that reality is it's not on a political timetable. So you can see in Washington, they're on a November election timetable. And the answer is there's not a whole lot you can do by the summer before the November election. Yeah. You need to get a bunch of things in the wider economy and the wider geopolitical world to go in your favor, and they're not under your control.
Yeah, you made a point in terms of the political timetable, and Democrats understand who is getting the blame for this. NewsNation polling, nearly half, 44% of Americans blame either Biden or Dems in Congress. Only 30% blame Russia. More, 33% blame President Biden. Only 21% blame the oil companies. Question is this. Inflation's one thing. Paying more is one thing. President Biden yesterday said that there's going to be very real food shortages. Would you have advised him to be as blunt, number one, and number two, give me the next sentence, what should the average American do about it?
Well, I thought he was saying the food shortages, the actual shortages, were going to be in Europe. It was part of his call to ramp up production, and we were going to export natural gas and food to Europe to try to relieve the problems that they're having on that front. I think the fact that Ukraine is a big producer of wheat and other farm commodities is likely to mean that American farmers have a proverbial bumper crop. They've never going to have seen prices like this in recent years, but that we're going to continue to see extended inflation at the grocery store the way we have through the COVID period.
And you brought up the COVID period, which is sort of when this big government spend began. Families First COVID Act. CARES Act included $1,200 in stimulus checks, enhanced unemployment benefits. Paycheck Protection Act, $483 billion more in PPP funding. Consolidated Appropriations Act, $600 stimulus checks, $920 billion in spending. Additional federal unemployment benefits, American Rescue Plan, another $1,400 in stimulus checks and money for schools to be pumped into the economy. Are we going to look back on this and say it was just too much, and it's almost like giving a kid a little too much candy at Disney World? When they come off it, it's going to be really painful?
Some people are saying that. I mean, I've been saying from the beginning that if you are of that view, that inflation came not from the supply chain disruptions, not from COVID, which I'm more in the COVID camp. But if you think it came from too much monetary and fiscal stimulus, you should be hyped up about 2022 when all of that stuff rolls off and in your phrase, the sugar high ends. I mean, it should be an abrupt end to the overheating of the economy as we move into a period of fiscal drag, because we're not going to get increases the way we saw in 2021. The reason I don't think that there's going to be an immediate drop to the inflation rate is I don't think that it mostly came from government stimulus. I think mostly it came from, we got the supply chains deeply messed up and people could not spend money on services, which is what they usually spend money on. They all went out to buy physical goods, and we just can't handle that.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.